Let's talk about the fundamentals of fronting the ball. First, when we get down the field, we've got off the line of scrimmage. We use our release techniques. Now we're running. We're in a long stride phase. It's a good 40 yards on a good punt that we've got to run. Okay. We talked about stacking, putting him behind us. But we're in a long stride phase. We're setting our angle to get to that returner, to put ourselves in a position to front the ball and make the play. We're going to, once we close on the football, get close to it at the point of attack, now we're going to start to shorten our stride. Okay, we're closing the gap between us and that returner making the play. So we go from long stride to short stride. Okay, our aim point is his near hip. Right, as gunners, we're going to make a play from our side. So we're going to aim at our near hip. We're not going to look at his numbers or look at his head and go for all those fakes. We're going to look at his hips and that near hip. All right, when we get to the point of attack, we're about to make a tackle. We got to be able to sink our hips. We don't want to just run and play high and get off balance. We've got to come to balance and sink our hips, widen our base, and be ready for him to make a move and try to make us miss. We've got to get there because sometimes we're going to take a shot and make a tackle full speed. Most of the time, we're going to have to wait for him to make a catch. Again, we're fronting the ball, stopping the vertical run by that returner. Okay, but sometimes we've got to sit there and wait for him to make that catch. If it's a fair catch, we've got to position ourselves in front. Okay. If it's not a fair catch, we've got to be ready for him to catch it and make a miss or try to make us miss and make the play. So we're coming to balance. We're staying square so we can go side to side. And again, preventing the vertical run. We're putting ourselves in a position to execute. Let's take a look at it here in practice. We're just working on attacking, long stride, short stride, putting ourselves in a position to front the ball and be ready for anything. All right, let's take a look at it again right here. We talked about it earlier in the last video. Getting releases and run, beating with speed, violence, long stride. We're setting our angle, all right here. We've both gotten down the field. Get my pointer here. We're setting our angle right now to get in front, okay? We're not coming out here wide, okay? We're setting our angle so he just doesn't take that ball and go right up the middle, okay? So we're setting our angle, front the ball. So now we get in front. Well, like we talked about earlier in the last video, we're making him feel our presence, right? We're trying to be disruptive. So now he takes his eyes off of us. He feels that body presence. We're right there fronting the ball. We're ready to make the play, whether it's make the tackle, make the fumble recovery, down the ball in the pooch area, all those things. But we start with our angles, our aiming points, and right there fronting the ball, right? Disrupting that returner and making the play. So let's take a look at it here. We're getting single on both sides. We're getting down the field off the line of scrimmage and running. All right. We're stacking. We're getting there. And right now, like we talked about, we're fronting that ball, but we're forcing a fair catch. That's a forced tackle for us. It's just as good as a tackle. Now, we get single up top. We get vice down here in the bottom. We've got releases. We're running down the field. All right. We're putting ourselves in a position right here. And now we keep that returner in front of us. When we stop, the fundamental of stopping that returner, okay, and not allowing him to go vertical, we're going to try to force him to bubble, to go side to side either way. That buys time for all the rest of these punt coverage players to come down and make a play. So we stop the vertical push. We're putting pressure on him. We knock him back. We make time for all the rest of our guys to come down and have the cavalry come down and make the play. It all starts with speed, violence, and technique. Again, we're getting single on both sides. That's a must-win situation for us. Getting great releases, all right, attacking them. So now we're both fronting the ball here, but also to the field, we're having this gunner try to stop that field run. So not only fronting the ball, we don't want him to get way over here and allow that returner to get all the way back to the field. So now he's going to chase him down. We're not leverage. We're not edge players. We're just going to run that thing down, keep in front, not allow him to get vertical. We're buying time for all the rest of the players to come down the field and make the play. That's great effort, great technique. Now let's talk about the fundamentals of making the tackle. First, it starts with the old premise of a ball carrier, especially a returner here. If he's got the ball in his hands and he's low, which means he's bent his knees and he's ready to make a cut, then we got to be under control. We got to come in and come to balance, be under control, and be ready to make that play, not allow him to make us miss. It's the hardest tackle in football. Simple as that. But if he's high, and he's caught that ball and he's high, and he's for him to make a move, he's got to bend down, he's got to bend his knees to make a move. Hey, we're going to let it fly. All right, we go from long stride right into letting it fly, taking our shot, making the tackle. So the first thing we talk about is you tackle with your feet, which means your feet put you in the right position to make the play. Keep your feet underneath you. Don't come down wild. Keep your feet underneath you, a great base. All right, we talked about that earlier, about going from long stride to short stride, having a great base, widen our base, all right, be solid with it. And the next thing is just be violent, run through him. If you're face up with him, even coming from the side, run through his near number, put your face right on his chest, right? Well, yes, we'd like to have our head across, but we want to put our face right through the head of the center of his chest, right through his number. We're going to have our eyes up so we're not looking at the ground. We're seeing contact. And once we go to wrap up and we put our face right in his chest and we're running right through him, now we're going to wrap up and we're going to try to punch out at the same time, punch that ball out, right? From there, once we got him wrapped up, we're going to run our feet, running our feet through contact and finish and take him to the ground. Now, you see down in the bottom, it says arrow through the heart. That's what we want. We want like an arrow going right through that return, right through his chest, right through his heart, knocking him out, right? Another thing about being a gunner is that with the finish, it doesn't always happen right at the point of attack. You may miss him. If you miss him, you end up getting blocked past him, or you take your shot and you miss, you get up and you retrace. You retrace and go strip the ball out. You make the tackle from the side, from the front, from the back, coming all the way back around. It's just battle and go make a tackle. We'll take a look at some great examples coming up here. So we'll start with the fundamentals. Long stride, short stride, right? Widen your base, shorten stride. We're aiming for that near hip, and now we're just wrapping. We're sinking our hips, right? Putting our face right across the chest, arrow through the heart, wrapping them up, running our feet all the way through contact. I'll add a defender to it, right? So now we got a corner blocking us. So you'll see right here, right? Here's the returner, okay? I'm a gunner. Here's this corner right here trying to block us. And now our thing is we've got to put ourselves in a position by winning over the top. We're going to try to win over the top and make the play. We made that decision. We got to rip off of this block right here. We get to this position right here. We got to rip off of that block violently and then go put ourselves in a position, short stride, go make the play. If he's high, let it fly. And then run our feet through contact. Okay. Do the same thing here. Steel rod, leverage on this corner, right? Get around, turn the corner and go make the play. Come off of a block, rip off of a block, come under balance, come to balance, come under control, and go run right through that ball carrier. Now, as we come across, you'll see here, post returners move. It's the hardest tackle in football, wide open field with the best athlete on the field, right? If that returner is coming through here, we're going to go tackle him right through aim at the near hip and run right through him. But what if he comes up and he goes like this? Now we've got to be able to switch and run right through him, change direction and run right through him, really get our head across in front right there and make that tackle at a different position. So same thing here. Now we've come up here. Here's the corner. He's trying to win over the top. Well, by the relationship with this returner, he can't win over the top. So now what does he got to do? He throws by this corner, throw him by, and now he comes in and goes underneath. Okay, or back door. He goes underneath, throw by, back door, go make the tackle. Okay, same thing here. Here's the ball carrier. We've gotten the ball level, right? We can't win over the top. So we throw him by, come back underneath here, and now we got to try to get ahead across and make the tackle and run right through that returner. All right, same thing happens here. We come out, we can't win over the top, all right? We throw by coming underneath, but now this guy returner comes up and he shifts and goes this way. Now we've got to shift and adjust and go make the tackle. Come underneath, just like that. Have our feet underneath us, a solid base, all right, and punch right through and run right through that returner